conference playoff series in your career. How does that sort of help you appreciate the grind of that it's going to be at least a 6-week period, maybe longer? How does that prep you and let you know what has happened so far and what's ahead?
I think, especially, going through the process that we have, being an 8 seed, having to fight for everything that we've got. Like, obviously, I don't know, really what it was like before the All-Star break, but certainly there was ups and downs leading all the way to this point, and I think it just shows the character of our group. Like, we have talent, but without character, you're not going to go as far. And we have guys that are willing to do whatever is necessary to get the job done. I think for me, just between Kyle, UD, a lot of these guys have experience, so I think that's only going to help us going against a very good team in Boston.
You were not here for any of the 4 games against Boston, but obviously you're familiar with Boston's players. So, from what you know about this Heat team and from what you know about that Celtics team, how do you sort of see this shaping up?
They're a very deep team. Obviously us, losing Vic, losing Tyler, those are, guns that we wish that we had, players that we wish that we had right now. But I think the level of cohesiveness and togetherness that we've had, even with those been together since those guys have gone down, has shown. I think you guys can feel it. We certainly can. I think our fans can feel it. We've been on the road to start the first 2, postseason matchups that we had, but going into Boston, they're obviously a very deep team, like I mentioned. They have that, Jason, obviously Brown, defensive player of the year candidate every year, and Smart, Horford, who's like the tenured veteran, Williams, who, can, really guard 2 through 5, maybe 1 through 5 as well, super athletic. Guys just through their entire lineup. I'm missing a number of guys, even starters, that just shows you how deep their team is, and we have to respect them. They're a hell of a team.
Kevin, some teams have kind of like fake 5-out lineups, but they have a real 5-out, 5-1 shooters. What kind of a strain does that put on your defense, and how do you? Is there a way to limit threes when they have 5 guys behind the arc?
Yeah, it's tough. We put so much of an emphasis on our half-court defense and stopping teams and keeping them out of our paint. But, with that and teams being able to stretch and, play 5 out, guys that can shoot it. I've seen Horford become a knockdown shooter as well, shoot over 40% from the three-point line as a 5-man. And throughout their entire lineup, guys that can score the basketball. And, it's obviously hard to do in transition when we're getting back and packing the paint. We put emphasis on that, but when it comes to breaking down our half-court defense that we take so much pride in, we're going to have to make 4 or 5, maybe 6 efforts at some point, and some guys are going to be throwing their fists up saying, hey, I need a blow, I need a break for a few minutes, because we're going to have to go extremely hard to get these wins.
Kevin, were you watching Game 7 last year?
Yes.
What did you think about Jimmy's shot? Did you think it was going to go?
I loved it. Outside of the fact it didn't go in, but when you're playing for a different team, you kind of wish they all could lose somehow. So, for me, I've obviously admired Jimmy from afar. Now being his teammate, like you know that he's made for those moments. And honestly, when he went to that 2-foot lift on that right wing, like I thought it was good. I really did. But that's just sometimes how the ball bounces, and us going to that Game 7 against them, 1 shot away from the Eastern Conference Finals. You'll take that every single time, put it in his hands. Or going to the final, excuse me.
Just when you're 3 months with the team, how have you felt like that, the way that series ended, how it's stuck kind of with this group entering the situation?
Yeah, I know from afar. I know obviously that there's a history with these 2 teams. Dating back even before this, but really, in the past couple of few years, both teams, having really hard-fought series, especially after last year in the conference finals. Just in watching the games and understanding, who both teams are, what they're about, storied franchises. Again, it should make for another good one after we just had 2 great series.
You obviously had a couple of very appealing options with the Heat and with Philly, and either would have been fine. You would have been on a good team with either. But watching yesterday, did you think about that decision as Game 7 unfolded?
Oh yeah, I'm a great decision maker. No, again, like this was always the first choice. And it always felt right, but it's always, it's like, going to a doctor and getting a second opinion, right? Like you always want to check all the boxes, understand, what else is out there. But again, this was always it for me.
Kevin, you mentioned that the past 2 series rebounding was huge. You like these down to 30 games.
Yeah.
This Celtics thing is going to be, we got a lot of crafty veterans on that side.
For sure. Yeah, and we're just, we're at the mindset where we just got to do whatever it takes. I knew in this past series there was going to be games that, my sole purpose was to keep those 2 bigs off the glass. After seeing what happened, against Cleveland and how much that they dominate on the offensive and defensive glass. So I knew that there were going to be open looks for me at some points. There would be times when I'm going to be able to score the ball, do different things. But, in other games, you just have to do whatever is necessary. For me, that was keeping those guys off the glass. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be, stretching the floor, making their life, they being, Bam and Jimmy, our 2 main guys that, hold down such a brunt of our offense, making their lives easier, knocking down shots, getting Max and Gabe and those type of guys open. But for me, that's where, I make the impact. It'll either show up in the stat sheet or not. But, again, at the end of the day, if we win, that's all that matters. That's all that counts.
Last question. If they do go too big, whether Rob's on you or not, he's going to be kind of pulling off.
Yeah.
Hey, is there a way to punish that other than just making shots, or are there creative ways?
Yeah, I think, the way that you punish that is you try and take advantage of the spacing. I'm somebody that you can't leave, and even if that ball gets swung to me and I don't like it, or it's not a crisp pass on the laces, something like that, I can dribble in or pass in right into a shot with, guys like Duncan, guys like Gabe, guys like Max, whoever might be there, for a 3-ball. I think that ball movement and not getting stuck on it. I think you saw Philly doing that a lot. The ball would get stuck and they would just load up on everybody. So I think that's how you take advantage of it. You take what the defense gives you. They're a very good defensive team. Incredible net rating for the entire year. So we're just going to have to play to our strengths. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.